It's kind of weird how I have to like restart the stream that I just literally made like 2 days ago. How funny about that? It's kind of funny, but it's not about failures. It's about how you get up from it, I guess. So, I mean, it still sucks that it failed like last time, and then I hope it never ever happens again. And believe me, I hope that it never happens again, and I try to make sure it doesn't happen again. However, unfortunately, it wasn't my fault, and that's the whole thing. I'm also wanting to like motivate you guys and telling you guys about how like if you have problems that are not your fault, just try not to think too much about it. You probably can't help it because you want the most control as possible, but unfortunately, that's not how the world works all the time. Okay, it's still a philosophy session, so I'm allowed to be a little bit more sentimental today. So, hi everybody, how's everybody going today? So if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, because you weren't here the last 2 days from the 2 days ago when I last streamed about this, it's probably because I guess nobody forced you guys to come to my stream, and also like nobody actually like put a gun to your head, and like I didn't come to your homes and then like drag you guys to watch my stream, or in the worst case scenario, I didn't even bother reminding you guys of anything. There's plethora of reasons why you probably didn't watch my stream last time. But I guess it's your choice to pick and choose. I'm not saying that you guys are like out of like you guys don't have a plethora of different options. I'm just saying that like yeah, it's your choice to pick your choices, I guess. So, I was talking about the point of philosophy, and then what was the whole point of that? I'm pretty sure, like, even if I didn't, like, managed to like get through the entire stream last time because some kind of technical difficulties happened, and by technical difficulties I mean my internet like gone down slightly, and also when it went down, it turned out that like my microphone started to not work. So like I was still live, but like for some reason my microphone was just like off. It just like did not want to capture my voice at all. So here I am again, restarting everything, re-explaining everything, and trying to like have a discussion again. It's a good thing as well because like just in case that people did not weren't able to like come during the last stream and wanted to like keep hearing about what the rest of the 30 minutes that I missed will be about, and also just if you guys are just probably interested about like re-listening to what I had to say about like 2 days ago, then like I guess it's a good thing. We need to stay positive here, honestly. Like it's like one bad opportunity like brings up another good opportunity, I guess. So I guess that's what I'm gonna start thinking as of from now on. So like nobody should feel bad about the fact that they weren't able to watch the masterpiece that was 2 days ago. So yeah. I hope you guys are able to enjoy this session today. So today, philosophy session was always about talking about difficult questions and talking about difficult ideas, and also just playing around with what I think about, and also potentially what you guys think about. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the topics I pick, but like because we have to start somewhere, this is where we're beginning. So I'm pretty sure we also like mentioned about like the point of philosophy like few like months ago at the very least, but like I thought it was a good idea to like come back to it again because one, I forgot, because like I can't remember like when was the last time I did this. I could recheck, but I don't want to be bothered to, so I guess you guys have to be reminding me of that as well. And second of all, it's still like a thing that we can like touch up on as well, because I still touch up on that question a lot. The point of philosophy, what does philosophy mean for you guys personally, and then like what it means for other people, and just generally what the philosophy, like knowing about philosophy and like keeping philosophy in mind has like done for you, and like was it good things or a person potentially bad things. Because as philosophy as like very complex ideas, and also just how like broad the term philosophy is, it's also very important for us to realize just how the literal need for you to question. If you're gonna question anything first, you have to question like what you're actually learning, which is philosophy. So like if you're gonna make use of philosophy and you think that philosophy is important, and just the way that philosophy has like made you question about other things, it's also important to realize the need and the importance of questioning the very philosophy itself. That's the best way I can word it. But yeah, and this is a potentially quite a complicated question, because well, in one hand, philosophy can be taught as very useful for certain things. For example, it allows you to like be a better communicator. For example, I'm able to like communicate ideas like this, and I can kind of see the point, the way that philosophy has been able to and allowed me to have a deeper conversation with you guys and other people and other alien creatures. Because whenever those guys come around, they just only talk about like depressing things. But yeah, and also you can also argue that philosophy itself has also been, it's very useful for you to become better reasoners, and also just like have a much more logical sense of mind, I guess. However, you also have to realize just how whether or not it's the fact that philosophy itself has given you those abilities, or just those fields in general. Because well, communication skills and also just logics and also rationality, I guess, those aren't just isolated to only philosophy. So like sure, philosophy can be a method to like bring those things about, but like at the end of the day, you could technically argue that you bring about these things because you're practicing communication, you're practicing rationality, and you're practicing logic. But is it because you are practicing philosophy, or is it just because you are practicing communication? For example, am I communicating with you guys more, or am I philosophizing with you guys more, if that is even a word? And I guess like I guess if you guys don't realize just how philosophy can be like linked to those things, and then I might sound a bit ungrateful, I guess, because well, even if like it's not directly linked, I guess it's not directly communication skills might be more important than being a philosopher, for example, and being a good like logical person might be more important than being a philosopher. They're undeniably more or less linked. So like it can be argued that like it's not very being grateful for you to being a philosopher, and then like saying that philosophy is less useful, or like the philosophy has less purpose because well, you are more focused on other aspects that comes from being a philosopher compared to philosophy itself. Which, fair enough, it's a very, very weak argument in my opinion. So like yeah, so for example, people ask like, what's the point of becoming an athlete, or like what's the point of becoming like going into sports if you aren't gonna compete, for example? I guess it's the very same reason. So like if you are going to become an athlete, then like if you aren't planning to become an athlete, then doing sports might have like less meanings to you. However, it doesn't mean that you can't gain some kind of meaning from that. It means that like it's not directly involved with like, you know, becoming an athlete. You can still like gain like determination, like you can become more fit, you can also become like, you know, more active as well. There are a plethora of different things. Like sports, the meaning behind sports is like a very, very determinate from individual to individual. Maybe you want to make more friends and you want to be more like popular with the ladies, or like popular with the boys or something. I don't know what kind of like I don't know, but yeah, I guess you can definitely say that to philosophy as well, because like the aim of philosophy itself is never just to like, you know, for most people at least, to not become philosophers like in general, but it's just more to do with becoming more better at other things that are involved with philosophy, just as much as like you know, being better at sports is gonna get you to be better at different things that are not directly involved with you making an entire career out of like the sports in general. So I guess that's a very big argument now that I think about it. And the matter of fact, I didn't think about this. I'm just like rationally, like logically trying to like get through whether I have a good mindset for this topic or not. But the thing that's still bothering me about philosophy in general, and also just like any field that's like related to like philosophy, you know, those ones that like you know, questions our very idea of knowledge and beliefs, and also just like our entire world as we know it. It kind of feels like to put it very simply, that like it's kind of hard to see the point of a topic or like a subject that you know for a fact that you won't get the right answer to. Because when we think about philosophy, and after you guys have been like coming through some of my sessions for like a few times, and I'm not saying that like this itself, this kind of like talk itself is gonna like get you guys to like any higher education or something, or like you're not gonna like get a degree from me or something, but you guys are still like taking some philosophical like and also just like logical thinking. But at the end of the day, what I'm aiming to, and unfortunately what you guys are probably getting to realize, is the fact that like the more you start knowing about some things, especially in fields of humanities and also just like social sciences like philosophy, the more you just realize not the answers to questions, but just how much question there needs to be answered, and the almost impossibility of being able to answer those said questions. And sure, at the same time, communication skills and then like logical skills, logical and like critical thinking skills are very important, and you will definitely gain those if you like take part in philosophical discussions, like for example what we're doing right now, and also just like I don't know, anything that's related to philosophy, even politics, and also just like economics, for example. You can like see the point and then like get some like physical benefits from it. But the one thing that you will probably not be able to find is correct answers, but you'll definitely get to appreciate the fact that, even wrong answers have the right cause, and then like you also have realized that why some answers you can't find simple answers to like what you yourself might find to be really obvious. But at the end of the day, it's basically, when I think about philosophy, it just feels like it's one of your friends that keeps telling you you're wrong and you're wrong and you're wrong without actually having like a good idea for it to give as well. Like you have those friends that like that can give you a very good reason as to like why your methods or like why your stupid ideas are very stupid. And believe me, it doesn't really necessarily have to be friends. I've met strangers who like tell me those things all the time. But like do they have any better ideas? Probably. But when it comes to philosophy, probably. But I just choose to ignore them. But but I hope you guys can see what I mean by this. Because it's like a field that doesn't like, it's kind of stating that like it's helping you by telling you why it can't be helpful. I think that's the best way I can put it. So like it's a field that philosophy is a field that like makes you understand just how much things are out there and how much more complex the world is. But because it makes you realize how complex the world is, now that you have realized that, you are more inclined to know for a fact that there are no right answers, there are no wrong answers, they're just there. They're just what you do. Whatever you do, there's consequences, but whether or not those consequences are good or bad is probably entirely up to you, or like depending on what kind of like standards that you have. But even those standards can be wrong or right. It just depends on you. And that's a very uncomfortable thing. But at the same time, you can't say that that's philosophy's fault. Because, regardless of whether you do philosophy or not, regardless of whether you come to my streams, regardless of whether you, read like philosophical texts, or like watch the videos about philosophy, or like go on to like have conversations about philosophy, these questions are they're not answered regardless of like whatever you do. So philosophy itself does not by any means most likely ruin anything, as in my opinion. But if it doesn't ruin anything and it doesn't help, chances are it's just there for you to like engage with, in order for you to just figure out your meaning by yourself. And for philosophy's sake, it's probably sometimes even better for us to like realize that limits of philosophy is just like involved with like just having no answers, and then like getting other benefits from it. For example, like I said, communication, logical rationality, blah 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 blah. But philosophy itself was never really inclined to like make a person a better person, or like be better at making the correct answers or the right answers. It's very helpful to like organize your ideas, maybe like making you question more as to like is it really right for you to believe something as you do, and then like is it right if you put it in certain contexts that's like outside of your own comfort zone, and like in different situations. Have you considered all this? But at the end of the day, it's still gonna be left up to you to decide that as well. So like is that the whole purpose of philosophy itself? Like is it just good enough for it to be used for conversation skills, and also just like being more logical in your thinking, but never for itself? because I hear all the time about how like like by learning philosophy you get to like have become closer into answering the question that you are so dire to answer. For example, is it right or wrong for me to change my careers? Is it right or wrong for me to like get into a long-term relationship? Is it right or wrong for me to donate my money or like keep it all to myself and all that? And there are people who gives you theories about that, and then like but apparently those theories are able to like put people into the right direction when asking these questions. And I was just thinking that, yeah, but if there is no such thing as a right direction to begin with, then like where is it actually pointing towards? Like, but then you can of course argue that like it's the questions itself that makes people more inclined to make that path for themselves, so that like they can get the right answers. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that those paths that they choose are going to be right. It does definitely mean that it's the path that they've chosen, but whether it's right or wrong, it's entirely up to them as well. But if it was up to them from the very beginning, you have to question whether or not you've ever even needed philosophy to like get to those like ideas that were up to you from the very beginning. Maybe it wasn't up to you from the very beginning. Maybe you guys believe in gods, and maybe you guys are like believe in certain like philosophical theories, and then like principles, and also like what is it that you guys want to like achieve and stuff like that. But philosophy it doesn't only answers as to the questions of how rather than why. For example, for physics, people think that like for example sciences and like general physics, for example, has like a definite answers to, right? But physics itself, and I'm gonna get to why I'm mentioning this later. Physics itself is more concerned with the question of how rather than why. For example, if it's a question about how we should like be going to Mars, or like how it should be to like make a building, that could be genuinely be answered because now you have goals. A goal that you're trying to aim for. Because if you have a goal, then if you can build up to it. And you can argue that philosophy does the same thing, because like it tells you what goals you should be striving for, what things you should need to do. But at the same time, and the philosophy actually does that pretty well in general, because if you have a goal, arguably you can definitely do something to achieve it, because as long as you exist, nothing is technically impossible. But at the same time, philosophy goes one step farther, in my opinion, than physics, because now you're asking the question of why. Like, even if like we are capable of doing anything in this planet and everything that we wanted to do, so long as we put the time and effort into it and we're willing to sacrifice, I guess, it goes beyond just that. And then just to ask the question of why. Sure, we can go to Mars, but why would we want to go to Mars? Sure, we can probably, maybe, despite it being extremely difficult, we might be able to go to like goes in the speed of light maybe, but like why should we? What are we gonna like? What's the purpose of it? And then people give you like one question at a time. For example, well, if you go faster than speed of light, then we'll be able to like travel between places and then transport things more quickly. And then you ask, why do we have to transport things more quickly? And then like to feed the people. Why do we have to feed the people? And then like give people reasons. Well, it makes people happy. Why do we need to be happy? And then like it goes downhill. It goes very, very deep from there. So as long as you have the goals, you can kind of see that like there's gonna be some kind of answers to it. But when the question itself, when the question of why itself is in question, then you can kind of see the limits of philosophy and just the limits of knowledge itself. Because like we always want to go, right? We always think that we want to go, but as to the reason why we should have, or maybe we keep wanting goals, and then like whether or not wanting goals or having to need goals is a good thing or a bad thing, that things won't probably be answered anytime soon. I'm not saying it's impossible to answer them, but it just probably wouldn't be, because it just depends so much on other people. And even if it was dependent on other people, and then like you can make your answer to themselves, chances are your answer to yourself is probably not the good answer, because you are still working with certain assumptions that you want certain things and you don't want certain things. and as to the reason why you don't want certain things, well, you can like give a plethora of different theories, but whether or not the reasons are good is entirely a different story as well, because now you have to like question the reasons itself, and also your goals, and also the why, pretty much everything. So it feels like no matter what we do, we're gonna get stuck there. It's like there's this like Plato's cave apparently, where I can't remember if Socrates or Plato's, I'm pretty sure it was Plato's, but like you are told to leave, like actually become philosophers. You are able to like escape the cave of fake reality, and then like be able to see the true reality by escaping the cave. While you are in the cave, you're only able to see the shadows of reality. But like if you only end up at another cave, actually leave the first cave, then you have to wonder, what is the point? Like what is the point? And then sure, you can argue that like, well, you find that meaning for yourself. I mean, is it better for you to have been stuck in that first cave and then like not know that there was another cave, maybe even a better cave in like close by, that you would have never realized if you didn't try to escape from the first cave? And I was thinking like, maybe, just like every single question in philosophy, like maybe it was better, maybe it isn't. Like I don't know, like the question, I'm still struggling with the concept of like whether or not all knowledge is better than no knowledge, because there's like two different sides of the extremes, right? You can have all the knowledge in the world, or like no knowledge in the world. Like if you have no knowledge in the world, then like on the one hand you will be probably dead, but if you have all the knowledge in the world, you'll probably find that like you don't have a point in being alive. So like which is better? I mean, maybe like there's some alternatives behind it, like depending on the scale that you're working with, but it seems to me that like the idea of like knowing there's no such thing as knowing too much might be a bit of an overstatement, but I'm still like contemplating about that right now as well, because well, certain things are probably worth learning about, right? For example, you probably want to learn about like how to program as detailed as possible, and you also want to learn how to like go to moons and stuff like that, be able to like or like the stock market, for example. You probably want to know as much about that as possible, so that you can get rich. But those things all assume that you have goals, while in terms of philosophy, you do not have goals. If you do have goals, then that's terrific, but like you have to start asking why you even have those goals, so that's good. For example, I guess it's easier for you to see the benefits of coding, because like you can kind of see, why do you want it? Why do you want to have a business? Because well, it makes me happy, and then you can just stop right there. Like, it just makes me happy, and I think that's a good thing. We can stop right there. But if you are going in the philosophical route, then well, and you are trying to like question human nature itself, and programmers aren't. I don't know if any programmers are like right now conscious about like the concept of human nature. I mean, I'm not saying that like no coders are philosophers, but like if you are like a pure only coder, like how programmer, then like how much thought are you putting into like the concept of reality, and also like the concept of human nature? And then like he will probably say not as much as philosophers at the very least, but like probably a bit. But if that's the case, then like you can kind of see that like we have to eventually stop questioning if you want to achieve some things, right? For example, if you want to like become a programmer, then you have to believe, for instance, that being a programmer is a good thing. Like, being a programmer is awesome, and then like you achieve your grandest and the greatest desires ever once you have become a programmer. Now, is that really the case? It doesn't matter. You have to stop asking questions if you want to start achieving some things, because there's a point in time where you have to quote someone, to like take off your philosophical hat and then just get to work. But who decides when the philosophical hat should be taken off? And can philosophy ever answer the question of like when we should stop philosophizing? Like, when should we be stopped at the point where let's just all be satisfied with the cave that we are in, satisfied with the kind of like situation that we are in, and then just work around our problems from here. No more asking why, no more asking for the truth. Whether or not just accept the fact that like we have decided on a certain truth, and then just like go from there. And if that is the case, then like who decides that, and when should you? And if not somebody else, then like just you in general, because like even you guys have had experiences of deciding to make choices. And when you make choices, you probably have to really start asserting for a certain time that like yes, this is what I want to do for this blah 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 reasons, for this and this and this reasons. And then you start to figure out that like if you kept questioning things, and if you kept asking yourself, why do I want this, why should I want this, and then like what makes I think that if I get this I'll like enjoy it, and then you'll probably realize that you don't really get anywhere. So you have to stop like eventually. You have to stop eventually. And whether or not that's like sooner or later, or like 20 or like 100 years from now, that's up to you really. Even the concept of like how long somebody should like keep asking questions itself is very controversial, right? So like you can keep thinking about a problem forever and ever, because that's what philosophy is about. Nobody's blaming philosophers for like having like been thinking about the cases of like the value of human life, and also the value of what the meaning of life is, for as long as that they did, for centuries and for millennia, because they were never expected to find the right answers to begin with. But we're not talking about just philosophy. We're talking about philosophy, what philosophy means to you. Philosophy itself can like keep talking about like a bunch of everyday things. It can like touch on physics, psychology, and economics, and like just history in general. It can touch on every single field. But the one thing that matters, the one thing that philosophy and everything else matters is to you. So like philosophy only matters as much as you are willing to give that matter, I guess. So the question still stands: what does philosophy mean to you? And then like how did philosophy, if anything, help you? And did it actually help you? Like, even if you do believe that it actually did, like can we imagine a world where we don't philosophize, and then like maybe that we're becoming a better version than we do now? But then we have to still wonder like what the better future is. But whether, like I said before, whether or not we do philosophy or not, we will probably still not know the answer to it. Not saying it's impossible, but like how much philosophy has been involved in like explaining the concept of like a good future or a good present itself is very questionable. So where do we go from here, And then like if this is the limit to philosophy, then like should we have stopped like a longer time ago, perhaps? Like maybe it never mattered to begin with. So like it just goes on to show that like philosophy was never too important to begin with. I guess this is about time. I think that like I should probably put my opinion about it and say that like in my opinion, philosophy is still useful, I guess. Sorry, my mouth's been very dry recently. To me, philosophy has always been more about finding the limits of like what you can and cannot know, and then like trying to break past the limit. Whether or not it actually helps you to like achieve that in the future or not, we'll probably never know. But the one thing that you can be sure, 100% sure, is the fact that if you stop thinking about it, and if you start thinking that it is impossible, then like yes, it will become impossible. Because just like the fact that like people who go to the moon wouldn't have been able to go to the moon if they didn't want to go to the moon from the first place. If you stop thinking about like what makes the world a better place, then you'll probably never be able to find a better place, even whether or not it existed or not. So that's my take on the matter. So I think it's still desirable to like learn philosophy and also just to like engage with philosophy and to just like make sure you find your own meaning as well. Because if no answer is right or wrong, if my assumption is correct, and if like it's just up to you to like figure out what the true answer is, then it just goes to show that like you know, you can't be wrong. You just have to think more about it to yourself, because because this is a very personal kind of experience, especially no matter who you are, you have different kind of philosophical experiences and also like different situations, and also you have to reason with different attitudes and different people. Chances are like it's a very personal journey for you guys as well, and then like it's just important, I guess, to share about those personal experiences, because like you never know like you never know if anybody else like, you know, has experienced or like has gone through the similar phase that you do, and they will be able to better explain to you the kind of like the situation that they gone through. Because well, it comes to show that like we are kind of bad at like understanding ourselves in general sometimes. And then like by talking about philosophy and by engaging with like just subjects that you think that is related to you, helps you better realize that like the amount of information and just the amount of things that are out there for you to better help you with like coming to terms with yourself and also the world around you. Whether or not those reasons and those thinking processes are actually good or better than yours is just up for complete debate, obviously, because well, we'll never know that. But all I'm trying to say is that it doesn't, just as much as you can argue that doing philosophy and not doing philosophy is pretty much the same thing, it also means that like it doesn't hurt to do philosophy in general. In my opinion, it could, however, be very, very stressful. So you must keep that in mind as well, because like philosophy can drive people insane and then like push people to like beyond the limits of like logical thinking. Taking a break every now and then is a very healthy thing to do. So I guess it's a good thing to keep in mind as well. But it still goes to I'm still putting this answer, like the reason I'm still making this kind of stream, despite the fact that like I already have a quite a good like opinion about this. In my opinion, it's just the fact that like, I just wanted to like hear some of your take on this, because like I do plan on like doing like philosophy sessions and like as often as I did as used to, and also just like communicating and then like making the most use out of it. But like I'm just questioning about whether I'm actually making the best use of philosophy, and then like what that best use actually is. And maybe it's different for everybody else, but just to like hear some of your opinions on this, because well, everybody has different reasons for like why they think so much, and also like why they want to, you know, reason with themselves, and then like why sometimes you probably can't sleep because well you guys are just like, you know, trying to understand something that you probably don't want to. Is it because well you have no choice but to just keep trying over and over again, so like it's maybe a negative thing, or is it because you actually want to like think that you want to appreciate the world better, so it can be seen as a positive thing? Either way, I think there's a good logical reason as to like why both things are just happens, I guess. No one can blame you for like wanting to see logic and then like wanting to see the true reason as to like why certain things work and certain things doesn't. But it's sometimes does, but at the same time there's no denying the fact that like once you realize just how difficult it is, it's kind of like, you know, very pressuring, I guess, very intimidating. And then like, and it's just funny to me how like despite the intimidation sometimes, that people still go for it, and people still like actually like keep trying to like you know, reason what this kind of situation that they're in, and also just like trying to think through everything as much as deeply as they possibly can before they decide to make a certain decision and deciding on what they believe in. But at the same time, I just questioning about like was there any point in like putting that much effort into doing something that you know for a fact that won't get you anywhere closer to the right answer? You can argue, however, that it will get you closer to the answer that satisfies you more, which is great, which is insanely great. maybe that was a whole point to begin with, perhaps, that like your whole purpose and then your entire challenge itself was always about finding the right thing that just makes you satisfied and makes you like glad and makes you just like, you know, well off. And then like if you have achieved that, that's great. Of course, like just because I don't think that question is limited to just philosophy. For example, it can be due to your finances. It can also be due to your political beliefs, and it can also be due to just about your familiar situations, I guess. But it just means that philosophy itself is not. When I say you can extend this question to pretty much every other subjects in general. It can go to subjects like physics, like geology, and also like everything as well, if you choose to. It's kind of gonna be much harder to put this kind of question onto more logical and just like normative kind of like subjects like mathematics, for example. But the concept of like having to depend on beliefs, and also just to like having to, you know, wanting to find the answer without like and then just realizing that you only get farther away from the true answer might be a thing that's worth discussing for other subjects as well. I'll leave that to you guys to try and figure it out, I guess. It's something that's worth talking about, because like I also want to talk about eventually about how like most of our things, our ideas, are dependent on beliefs, and then like what you guys think about that as well. It's just one of the things I've been thinking about these days as well. But for now, I guess the purpose of philosophy will have to do for today, I guess. Is there anything else I want to mention? I think I'm gonna like end the stream like a bit early today because I am like super sleepy. I think you guys are kind of able to see that already. But yeah, I hope you guys are able to find the purpose of philosophy, and if not, like your process and maybe abandoning it as well. And like, I don't know, it's probably not possible for you to like abandon philosophy in general, because that's just a way to abandon reason, I guess. But maybe people who are close to abandoning reason completely itself might be the happiest ones, or like the most satisfied ones out there, or the most well off compared to like the people who are, you know, just keep thinking and then being bogged down by logic and reasoning and just like rationality. Well, perhaps that's the ultimate freedom. It's probably gonna be an incredibly anarchical kind of like freedom, but maybe, who knows, maybe there was a better alternative after all. We don't know that. Maybe they have something going which is the reason why I told you guys to like every now and then, like when you guys watch my stream, to like just become as stupid as possible, because I already know, like, for the fact that you guys are probably very rational and very smart individuals who are coming here to just like take a break from it all, and then just like have some fun while you're at it. And then yeah, maybe that was what's the whole point. That like maybe that was the thing that we're missing. Not more logic and not more knowledge, but just the opportunity to have a lack thereof, I guess. And then like we realize just how dangerous it might be to just keep accumulating something that might not pay off in the long run, or maybe it does have a long run purpose, or maybe it doesn't. It's a thing that's worth discussing longer, if possible. I do want to like have like a live chat about this sometimes, so that like if there's a viewer next time, I would love to have a chat with him or her. That would be, or it, maybe like a dog. Like I told this about like during my last stream about like how dogs and like animals might also do philosophy, because they themselves have to make choices. And if they have to make choices, that also means that they have to weigh the different options. Like, for example, is hunting this deer worth it? Like to them, they have different moral standards than you guys and us and me, I guess. But they're still technically philosophers nonetheless. I don't know. Try asking that to your pets, I guess. Maybe you'll have a very good conversation for after a long time. I'm not really sure. Okay. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of like a talk. We could go a lot deeper about this, but I'm probably gonna be mentioning like if I kept continuing this, I'm probably gonna start mentioning the same points over and over again, because I'm still trying to reason this idea myself as well. just the whole purpose of it. Like, who decides on when philosophical chats should be over and done with, and then like if I should have any rights to do that as well. Because we do always do that. We always do decide when we should stop thinking and then just like get to the choices and like get to the making the right answers by ourselves. But like if anybody has ever had the rights to do that, because well you always lacked some thoughts, right? You can't consider it's probably not possible or very incredibly hard for you to, and arguably unreasonable for you to like, have to consider everything before you make a single choice. So I guess it's very important for you to realize just when does decision making stop and just like your choices actually begin, I guess. And that's one of the things that I'm still questioning about. Maybe you know, philosophy has intrinsic value. Maybe we are actually getting close to the right answer, and maybe we are, you know, actually like having purposes, and then we are actually able to find meanings through philosophy. And if not, maybe there's still other ways we could do that. Who knows? But it's still something that I'm still thinking through and rationalizing, and then like putting my logical brain into it, I guess. And after this conversation, I hope you guys will be able to join my journey, I guess, my own process, or like making your own process into like discovering this for yourself as well. And I think at the end of the day, that might be the only thing I could possibly ask for. Anyways guys, I'll end the stream early for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tendo K. I do streams. I'm probably gonna upload a YouTube video soon. But please follow if you guys like this, and also like subscribe to both my YouTube channels. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Sorry, that was a bad time to burp. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, take care.